Hello and welcome back to a look at the newest set for the MLP CCG Absolute Discord. This time we're going to be looking at the theme decks for this set. So what we have here is we have double the fun for this theme deck, and for this one we have Unlikely Duo. So these are the two new theme decks. We have, you can see Discord in the front of this one and Fluttershy in the front of this one. So I think we'll open up this one first, so you can have a look and see what's inside it. And just open up. Again, I got these decks from Geek Retreat in Glasgow. Oops. I got them at the same time as getting the booster box. So we'll just open this up. Rip the box accidentally, but that's okay. So here we have like the pack of cards. We'll just take that out. A little bit of rubbish there. So as usual, it comes with like a little papery. Oh no, wait, this is the rule book. Comes with the rule book. As you can see, they'll probably have included new rules to accommodate the new flip effects. And this is just like a paper playmat. But if you're playing this most of the time, you've probably got a playmat of your own now. And just some tokens, counters to keep score and whatnot. So we'll get into this deck here, which is, if I remember, it is a yellow-blue deck, I think. Let me just... plastic. Let this open. There we go. Right. So we have two mains here, which we'll just take a look at first. So these mains are Fluttershy and Nightmare Moon. So blue-yellow is the theme. So you can basically use this untouched and swap out the main for whatever you want. So the Fluttershy one, troublemakers here lose and can't have abilities. That's the boosted side. To flip it, what you need to do is confront this card problem to turn it over, which is a decent Fluttershy card, I think. I mean, it really just depends on if you want to run yellow. I feel like if you're going to run yellow, you're more than likely going to be wanting the Fluttershy that works with the critters or something like that. But I mean, there are other ways to use yellow and I suppose not need critters. But I'm not really a big fan of using yellow as my main, so I probably won't be using this card. But it is a nice, pretty Fluttershy card. This is the one I'm more interested in, is the Nightmare Moon card. So we'll look at her front. So Mistress of the Night. When you confront this card's problem, turn it over. So it's the same flip effect for Fluttershy. But when you flip it, when you confront this card's problem, you may pay 2 to frighten the opponent's friend here. Now this is really good for like the mechanic of a frightened deck, because you know now you have a main specifically built for frightening people. So it's like you could see frightened decks becoming like a staple with this main. Because, you know, it's a great opportunity. Blue, maybe, I suppose you could mix it with yellow if you wanted, just for, like, additional. But, I mean, you could probably use any other colour as a backup, since most Frightened cards, I believe, are blue anyway. So you could use this as the main. So we'll just have a look at the deck for this one. So that's just the little scorecard token thing. So what we have here, you'll see, like, cards that are commons in the booster packs as well, and then there will be probably some fixed cards in these decks. That's normally how the theme decks run. So for this deck, you have three blue discords. When this card is flipped, one of your cards is involved as Pluto's power. It has a Princess Celestia, who, when you flip it, frighten a friend, or when this card interplays, so that's the frighten mechanic at work there, which will cost extra tokens. So here we have one from the premiere, Emerald Green, who's probably just there for vanilla. We have Rainbow Dash to the rescue. She has Swift, which is handy. She's a fixed card actually, so she's only in this deck. So if you want this card specifically, you need to get this deck. Once per face-off, if you would put a card flipped for face-off in Roman's deck on the bottom of your deck, you may put it in your hand instead. So there's 3 of those, yeah. There's probably 3 of most cards. You have Tank. The Tortoise 3 costs 3 power. So we have... Oh, here's another fixed one, which is quite exciting, is the Changeling Drone. 2 for 2. This card has 2+ power for each frightened friend in play. So you can see there that frightened mechanic again, which is probably going to be the main purpose of this deck, basically. I think I couldn't even think of a situation where you would rather run the yellow main than the blue one. So we have 3 yellow Discords, which we saw in the box opening. We have Big Mac, all bark and no bite. So we pulled a foil of him actually from the box. We have Blue Jay, which, standard critters, like yellow has. Amethyst Star, again, Premier. She has Caretaker, so she works well with the critters. We have Flitter, who is common in Absolute Discord. Again, she works with critters as well, so... I mean, I'm not dissing critters at all. It's just I prefer not to use them. We also have another fixed one, Band of Breezes. If this card would be sent home from a problem, it is sent to another problem instead. So that's good if you have a face-off at one problem, and instead of making it go home, you could just stick it onto the other problem. It's oh, the 2 power is over here now. So there's 3 of those. We have Spooky Scary Story. Again, the theme of frightening in this deck. Pretty strong. A Cuddle with a Pekingese. Oh, I like this card. This is a yellow one. So I suppose running blue-yellow might be a good option for this deck or whatever. I don't know, you might want to mix it up with some different colours if you don't like yellow. Here's another fixed one. Making a Difference. See, this is specifically a blue-yellow deck card. Choose a blue or yellow friend. That character gets +1 blue and +1 yellow until the end of the phase. So that would make up your colour requirements or whatever, or an extra bit of power. We have Treadmill, which we saw in booster packs. Bee-Suit. We have, this is from Canterlot Knight, so Pony of Shadows. Frightening mechanics, so that's probably why it's in here. Jet Set up an upper crust. A bit of an odd choice to put in this one, considering they're 0 power for 1 cost. So I wouldn't necessarily run these troublemakers in there. Not so good, I reckon. So for the problems here, we have Looking for Trouble. We have Protect and Serve, 2 each. Babysitting Breezes. Desperately Seeking Spike, 2 and a Thorn in the Paw, one. So overall, it's quite... Obviously, this deck looks like it's basically a frightened deck. I would maybe take out Jet Set and Upper Crust as the troublemakers or whatever. Maybe stick in a different one, like one of the new ones, like Spike or something like that. So we'll move on to this deck, the Double the Fun. Open this up. This one, I believe, is pink and orange. Pink and orange, judging by the colour of the box. We'll just get rid of the... Oh, so much rubbish to throw away at the end. And then we need to get into the actual packaging. I could have opened this up beforehand, but it kind of looked so nice in the box. I wanted to show it off. So, let's get it open. Right, so the mains in this one are Discord, who's pink, and Luna. So we'll flip them over. No, wait. That's the boosted. This is the start. So for Discord here, he starts at 3 power with a home limit of 4. So that's his start one. At the start of your turn, you may look at the top card of any problem deck. At the end of each opponent's turn, if that opponent played at least 2 cards, you flip it. Now the downside is when you flip this one, it's 1 power. So when you play a card, if you played at least 2 cards, it turns over. So this is a card who is a bit fun in that he could probably constantly be flipping. So it's like you can start out really strong, but your opponent can play at least 2 cards, and you're like, oh, I'm back over here. But then you can play 2 cards. It's like, oh, I'm back over here. It's a bit temperamental, I would say. If you want a main where you want to control it, basically, I wouldn't play this Discord. I know there's probably... If I remember right, there's another Discord main, and he's an ultra rare. It's probably a better one. And this is an interesting one in that it only has an effect at its start side. So when you discard a card, you may pay 1 to choose an opponent. That opponent reveals their hand and separates it into 2 piles. Choose and banish 1 pile and then turn it over. And then when you flip, it has 3 power, home limit 4, no other effect. So I suppose for its one-time effect, it is good. I mean, there are cards where I think you can flip the main back to its start side, and then the effect would take hold again if you wanted. I'm not really big on using orange mains, so I probably wouldn't use this Luna, even though she's pretty. And, she does look nice. I probably wouldn't use it. I don't tend to go with orange decks. I don't know why. So we'll look at the cards here. So orange and pink. So we have the orange Discord. We have Princess Luna Sandmare, as you can guess. That's probably why she's orange in this set, actually, because of that orange card there. We have Red Gala. Again, you want your basic colours. Caramel, who we've seen before. This fixed one is Applejack Farm 4 Mare. She is stubborn. When you play this card, you may reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may put one revealed resource into your hand. Put all remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in order. I quite like her picture. It's kind of cute. So here another fixed one. Respect your elders. While an opponent's main is boosted, this card is +2 and stubborn. So this is a really good card. Like, sort of like the Trixie for purple. This is like the orange version, where you're basically punishing your opponent for their main being boosted, which I quite like the idea of. So we have 3 pink Discords as normal. We have Tom the Boulder, of course. I think we saw him in the packs as well. Apple Brown Betty, 3 cost, 3 power, no requirement. Pretty much a staple in a pink deck if you want to, or maybe just if you want a pink requirement out. She can do it quite easy. Life of the Party, we've seen her before. She's kind of like the Rainbow Dash Ultra in that when she enters the play, she has a great effect, but it kind of fizzles out once it's over. So like, it's a one-time thing. But yeah, so we have Twist, who was in Crystal Games, if I recall. This is another fixed one. Snips and Snails Stage Magicians, 3 costs, 3 requirement, 1 power. This card has +1 power for each card in your opponent's hand. So sort of like the opposite of the purple Crystal Shining Armor. So you're kind of hoping that maybe they have a Shining Armor and they're keeping their cards in their hand so that this card is boosted. So basically you're forcing your opponent to either depower their Shining Armor and therefore this card, or keep their cards and know that they're putting power onto this. So it's like messing with their mind a little bit. We have Dig Deeper for 3. Oh, we have another... Oh, it's only 2. We have another fixed one, which is similar to that yellow and blue one, but this is obviously pink and orange. So we have Pink Apple Pie, based on that episode. We have Cutie Pox Outbreak, which I think if anyone's running pink, they'll probably stick this in now because it is cruel to, you can get rid of like a lot of really good cards that have printed power like this with good effects. So it's like really handy. And then we have Fresh Pastries, pink resource. We have Hazmat Suit, orange resource. And we have a Wild Manticore. The Troublemakers in these decks are a little bit random, I would think. I mean, this is from Premiere. I would maybe suggest choosing different Troublemakers if you're going to run these decks. And then you have Flam. At the start of your opponent's Troublemaker phase, they exhaust one of their characters. So that's like handy. And then you have your Problems, which these are Premiere, so Adventures in Full Sitting. This is it's Flooding at Sweet Apple Acres. Freeing Discord, which is pink and orange. Everfree Rescue Mission. And then you have Rock Slide. So those are the... Oh, I've made a mess over here. Those are the 2 decks. I think out of the 2 of them, my preference would have to be the blue and yellow one, in all honesty. I think, really, out of these mains, I would think that Nightmare Moon is, like, the best. Nightmare Moon is probably the best main out of the 4. There are 2 other mains, but those are ultra rares, so you need to push your, like, hope for the best that you pull them. I know one of them is a purple Discord, and I think the other one is a white Chrysalis, Queen Chrysalis or whatever, which I really want because I want to like build a deck around her. But I think I am tempted to build like a brilliant like frightened deck just around this main because I love this main so much. Nightmare Moon is amazing, so I prefer her over all the rest of these mains. But those were the decks, standard decks. You could play a decent game with them as they are, or you can like edit them to try and like perfect them a bit more to your liking. Like I said with Nightmare Moon, probably a couple more of the frightened cards that are in there. Maybe change some of the problems or whatever, and change the Troublemakers. I would advise changing the Troublemakers in these decks because they don't really suit. I don't think you could use some of the troublemakers from the new Absolute Discord set, and it would work so much better in your favor. And you could get the troublemakers that have no bonus points, but they can be a really big problem to your opponent. So that's just my thoughts on the new decks. Let me know what you think on how they are, whether you have a new favourite main from these four, or which deck you prefer, or whether you would prefer to see a deck with the new mains if I ever manage to pull them. I might possibly get another box, and I may or may not open it in camera. I would like to open it in camera just to see what I pull and everything, and see if the same thing happens where I pull 2 foils in a pack, which happened twice, which was so bizarre. But anyway, I'll see you later on, and we'll see what's coming next for Absolute Discord. See you later.